For thousands of years, archaeologists, treasure hunters, psychics, and that guy down the pub who spends too much time on Facebook.
How many of you guys are eating brisket and ribs tonight? Brisket and rib.
Have been chasing this legendary metropolis. They want to know the same thing. Was it real? Where did the history end and the myth begin? And most importantly, will we ever find the lost city of Atlantis?
Shut up and sit down, you big bald f***.
Please subscribe. The internet's turned into chaos. Pop-ups, trackers, permission for everything, even having to upload your ID since the Online Safety Act came into place in the UK. It's exhausting just trying to use the internet. That's why I use Surfshark VPN, the sponsor of today's video. Surfshark keeps things simple and encrypts everything, your browsing history, passwords, personal data. So what you do online actually stays private. No pesky corporations peeking in, no information being traded behind the scenes, just stress-free internet browsing.
Look at that. Blows my mind every time. Right.
The most convenient thing about Surfshark is that it protects everything at once. One account covers unlimited devices, no hidden extras, no nonsense. Surfshark opens up the entire internet. You can change your virtual location in seconds and instantly access content from all over the world. It's basically just lifting the restrictions that shouldn't have been there in the first place. And right now, Surfshark's giving you 4 extra months completely free. Just head to surfshark.com/Creaky and use code Creaky. That's surfshark.com/Creaky and use code Creaky for 4 months extra at no extra cost. For 4 months extra at no extra cost. For 4 extra months at no extra cost. Right, let's get back to the video. To understand the story of Atlantis, you have to go back to the source, a guy named Plato.
This is Clem Fandango. Can you hear me?
Come on then, Plato, enlighten me.
The one who thought everything was just a reflection of an ideal form. Plato's aim in 360 BCE wasn't to write a travel guide, but a philosophical dialogue, essentially a celebratory speech for the goddess Athena. And for this, he needed a formidable antagonist.
Do you know what nemesis means?
A character whose monumentally and comically corrupt nature would make his fictionalized early Athens appear flawless by comparison. The only reason we know about this city is because Plato invented it for 2 unfinished dialogue.
How many words, Clem Fandango?
About 100,000 words.
Whew, that's a lot of bullshit.
It wasn't ancient Greek folklore passed down from the gods. It was a tool, a literary device like a giant cautionary hammer. Plato described it as an island empire, huge, bigger than Libya and Asia Minor combined. It was located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which today we call the Strait of Gibraltar. It was ruled by 10 kings descended from Poseidon.
What about you, Poseidon, god of the ocean? Surely you've dealt with sea trade and international commerce.
And it was ridiculously rich. They had magnificent palaces, canals and culture. They were a naval power intended to contrast with the massive land-based threat of Persia at the time. But here is the key detail, the part everyone always forgets. Atlantis went bad. They lost their virtue. They became arrogant, greedy, power-hungry, and committed the ultimate philosophical sin, hubris. They got so full of themselves they decided to wage an unprovoked imperialistic war against Europe and Asia. And who beat them? A smaller, scrappier, morally superior early Athens, which was basically Plato's idea of a perfect state. The total destruction, the sinking in a single day and night, was divine punishment. It wasn't an accident. It was the geological consequence of a moral failure. The history of Atlantis, therefore, ends right there. And then Plato, like any good writer, just left the story unfinished. For centuries, academics treated Atlantis exactly how Plato intended, as an allegory. It was a cool philosophical concept and nothing more. Renaissance writers loved it for its utopian ideas. But then the 19th century rolled around and history went mad. In 1882, an American politician and amateur scholar named Ignatius Donnelly published a book, Atlantis. Donnelly looked at Plato's cautionary tale and said, nope, this is real. This was the actual cradle of civilization. Donnelly's book was a smash hit. It attracted hundreds of thousands of readers and established the powerful cultural image of Atlantis as a vast, technologically advanced, submerged Atlantic continent. Suddenly, the moral warning was gone, replaced by a global quest to explain why civilization looked similar across oceans. Donnelly was the original conspiracy theorist. Only his theories involved more sunken real estate. This is the exact moment the myths begin. Plato's allegory was hijacked, historicized, and promptly ruined by psychics. In the early 20th century, the purported psychic Edward Case claimed Atlantis didn't just have canals, it had giant, glowing, great crystal energy sources. And of course, the Atlanteans misused it, causing the whole thing to go boom. And then in the 1970s, authors like Charles Berlitz placed the sunken city squarely in the Bermuda Triangle, claiming it was responsible for all those vanishing boats and planes. This is the Atlantis you probably know from pop culture. The energy crystal, the advanced technology, the Bermuda Triangle hookup. It's a fun story, but let's be clear. This version of Atlantis is a Frankenstein's monster stitched together from Plato's hubris, Donnelly's global theories, and Case's excellent crystal aesthetic. So, was Atlantis a real city? Let's consult the people most frustrated by the Atlantis narrative, geologists. Plato said that an island larger than Libya and Asia Minor put together sank rapidly in a single day and night in the Atlantic. Modern geology says no. For a continent-sized landmass to vanish in the Atlantic Ocean in the last 12,000 years, you'd need a geological mechanism that defies everything we know about plate tectonics. The Atlantic seabed has been submerged for millions of years. Continents don't just go poof. The Earth's crust is like a fancy layer cake. The continental part is too light and thick to just drop into the dense oceanic basin. The whole notion is scientifically impossible, but that hasn't stopped people from trying to find it. Take the Rishat structure in Mauritania, also known as the Eye of the Sahara. It's a massive, beautiful circle in the middle of the desert. Some people claim that its circular shape superficially matches Plato's description of the city's concentric rings. But guess what? It's far inland, not the remains of a city. It's just a big, dusty bullseye. Then there's the famous Bimini Road in the Bahamas. A perfectly straight-looking line of massive stones underwater, discovered just as Edgar Cayce predicted. Surely this is the Atlantean Highway? Nope. Scientists confirmed it's just beach rock, a natural geological formation eroded by the ocean that happens to look like a very organized pile of stones. Now, for the one real disaster that might have inspired Plato, the catastrophic eruption of the Thera volcano in the Aegean Sea around 1600 BCE. Thera, now Santorini, was home to the Minoans, a powerful, rich maritime civilization. The volcano blew up, causing massive tsunamis, earthquakes, and the collapse of the volcano's center, making it look exactly like an island sinking into the sea. They've even found pumice from the eruption as far away as Egypt, which could be the kind of ancient, terrifying event Solon heard about. It's a great theory, But it has one tiny 8,000-year-old problem. The Thera eruption happened around 1600 BCE, which is millennia after the date Plato specified, which was 9,600 BCE. It seems that Plato just synthesized a bunch of terrible things, a naval defeat, a moral downfall, and an actual island collapse to make his argument stronger. So, the question remains, will we ever find Atlantis? The literal, crystal-powered supercontinent described in the myths? Absolutely not. Geologically, it's not there. But what if we reframe the question? What if we ask, is there a genuine historical memory of a vast advanced civilization lost to the sea? This is where Plato's most annoying detail becomes his most important clue. Remember that date, 9600 BCE. That time perfectly aligns with the end of the last ice age, a period of massive global sea level rise. When the continental ice sheets collapsed, the melting water flooded coastal areas globally. It submerged a landmass potentially the size of Europe and China combined. This was a catastrophic worldwide flood that wiped away established human settlements. And this is why nearly every culture on Earth has a great flood myth. While we will never find the lost city of Atlantis, what we can find is the historical echo that inspired the search to begin with. The lasting mystery of Atlantis isn't found in its location, but in the warning it imparts. Plato's creation, a city of immense wealth and power, was ultimately destroyed the moment its leaders strayed from their principles. Atlantis isn't the timeless story of a wealthy nation that succumbed to its own arrogance. So next time someone asks you about Atlantis, tell them to stop looking for the crystal-powered flying machines and start paying attention to history. Because sometimes the most enduring legend is just a philosopher trying to tell his friends that they're being bellends. Huge thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring another video, and I will see you all again on Monday at 7:30 PM GMTV, 2:30 Eastern. I think, unless your clocks haven't changed yet. Love you, bye.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever